Now we are discussing what composition scheme for service suppliers and mixed suppliers. It is under 10(2)(a). 10(2)(a) of the CGST Act 2017. Same has been introduced by Finance Number 2 Act 2019. It has been introduced by Finance Number 2 Act 2019 with effect from 1st of January 2020. Earlier the scheme was covered in the notation number. Earlier scheme was covered in notation number. At present notation is alive. 2/2019 central tax rate. Now here basically it is for service suppliers as well as mixed suppliers. It is for service suppliers as well as mixed suppliers. Service suppliers as well as mixed suppliers whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed rupees 50 lakhs. Whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year, whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed rupees 50 lakhs, whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year, it does not exceed rupees what? 50 lakhs. Then they can pay tax at rate of 6% of the turnover in the state or union territory, where 3% is the CGST element and 3% is the SGST element. 3% is the CGST element and 3% is what? The SGST element. So section 10(2)(a), it's also an optional scheme. So section 10(2)(a), it has provided an option. It has provided an option to a registered person, whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year is up to rupees 50 lakhs, whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year is up to rupees 50 lakhs, and who is not eligible to pay tax under section 10(1). So here the person can opt for payment of tax under section 10(2)(a only when he is not eligible, to opt for payment of tax under section 10(1). Only when he is not eligible for payment of tax under section 10(1), then only he can go and opt for 10(2). Thus traders, manufacturers and restaurant service suppliers who are eligible for composition scheme, they won't be eligible to opt for section 10(2)(a). वैसे भी नहीं आएंगे, they won't be coming because here the rate is 6% and there the rate is 1%. Why they will be coming? For restaurant service suppliers also, here the rate is 6%, there is 5%, so they won't be entering this facility. So section 10(2)(a) has been provided an option. It has provided an option to a registered person whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year is up to rupees 50 lakhs and who is not eligible to pay tax under section 10(1). To pay tax at rate of 6%, 3% is the CGST element and 3% is the SGST or UTGST element. Thus traders and manufacturers of goods and restaurant service providers who are eligible for composition scheme, even if not opted, will not enter this facility. Those who are eligible for composition scheme, and even if they have not opted, they won't be entering this facility. Now, what are the conditions? The registered person can claim the benefit of this scheme provided he complies with the following conditions. First condition we have already discussed. That is, aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year must not exceed rupees 50 lakhs. The aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year must not exceed rupees 50 lakhs. First of all, thus, the registered person intending to opt for the scheme in financial year say 2021 should not have aggregate turnover of more than rupees 50 lakhs during financial year 1920. In 1920, if the aggregate turnover exceeds 50 lakhs, then it won't be eligible to opt for this scheme, 10-2A scheme, in financial year 2021. Say if in financial year the aggregate turnover is say 48 lakh rupees. In financial year, next financial year, it will be, a registered person will be, he will be eligible to opt for composition scheme. In such a case, he will be what? Eligible to opt for the composition scheme. Now here, the same expression which we have discussed, this expression for 10(1), the same is here also. For the purpose of computing the aggregate turnover of a person for determining his eligibility to pay tax under this section. That is, for the purpose of computing the aggregate turnover of a person for determining eligibility to pay tax under this section. The expression aggregate turnover shall include the value of supplies made by such person from 1st April of the financial year up to the date when he becomes liable for registration under the Act, but shall not include, what shall not be included, but shall not include the value of exempt supply of services provided by way of extending deposits, loans or advances, insofar as the consideration is represented by way of interest or discount. So here, say, Mr. X is an architect, started the profession, he started the profession on 1st of April. So do we require registration? He is only engaged in interstate supplies. He won't be requiring any sort of registration. Even in interstate service suppliers, registration is not compulsory up to threshold limit of 20 lakh rupees. Now, for him, the threshold limit is say rupees 20 lakhs. The threshold limit is rupees say 20 lakhs. From 1st April to 15th September, he reached the threshold limit of 20 lakhs. Then he applied for registration. He applied for registration. So he will be eligible. But this 20 lakh rupees, rupees 20 lakhs will be included for the purpose of determining the eligibility. Though is not required to pay any tax on the same. But when you see the aggregate turnover, say in the then subsequently it reaches rupees say 32 lakhs. So now when you compute the aggregate turnover for the purpose of eligibility for the next financial year, it works out to be how much? 52 lakhs, not 32 lakhs. So here that is for the purpose of computing the aggregate turnover of a person for determining his eligibility to pay tax under this section. The expression aggregate turnover shall include the value of supplies made by such person from 1st April of financial year up to the date when he becomes liable for registration. As his aggregate turnover crosses 20 lakh rupees or 10 lakhs in case of Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Tripura, but shall not include the value of exempt supply of services. Here also, what is not included? What is not included? The value of exempt supply of services provided by way of extending deposits, loans or advances, insofar as the consideration is represented by way of interest or discount. The first and foremost aspect is his aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year must not exceed rupees 50 lakhs. Then he is not engaged in making any supply of goods or services which are not leviable to tax under this act. He is not engaged in making any supply of goods or services which are not leviable to tax under the act. Under section 10(1), when we were seeing, the restriction was only in respect of supply of goods. It was not in respect of the supply of services. Then the next one is, he is not engaged in making any interstate outward supply. He is not engaged in making any interstate outward supply. That is interstate outward supply of goods as well as what? Services. Of goods as well as services. So he is not engaged in making any interstate outward supply, neither of goods nor of services. He is not engaged in making any interstate outward supplies, neither of goods nor services. Whereas when we were seeing section 10(1), the restriction was only in making interstate outward supply of goods. Restriction was only in respect of interstate outward supply of goods and not an interstate supply of services. So under 10(1), the person can make interstate supply of services, but under section 10(2)(a), he cannot make any interstate supplies either of goods nor of services. Then he is not engaged in making any supply of goods or services through an e-commerce operator who is required to collect tax at source. So here under section 10(2)(a), he cannot make any supply of goods or services through an electronic commerce operator where the ECO is required to collect tax at source. Then he is not a manufacturer of such goods or supplier of such services as may be notified by the government on recommendation of council. So he is not a manufacturer of the notified goods or supplier of services as may be the government may on recommendation of council specify. So these goods have been specified: ice cream and other edible ice, whether or not containing cocoa, pan masala, aerated waters, and all goods falling under chapter 24 of the tariff, that is tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitutes. So he must not be engaged in manufacturing activity. He must not be engaged in making any supply of goods or services, making any manufacturing of such goods or supplying any services which the government so notifies. So here supply of service word has also been added. And he is neither a casual taxable person nor a non-resident taxable person. He must not be a casual taxable person and he must not be a non-resident taxable person. He must not be a casual taxable person and he must not be a non-resident taxable person. Now here they say where more than one registered persons are having same PAN. If more than one registered person is having same PAN issued under the Income Tax Act, the registered person shall not be eligible to opt for this scheme unless all registered persons opt to pay tax under the scheme. So here also the same thing is there. It is applicable for all the transactions of a registered person with the same PAN. So if AB, C and company is a firm having B1 office, B2 office, B3 office, B1 is in Rajasthan, B2 is in Delhi, and B3 is in UP. So in case if B1 is in Rajasthan, it has opted for 10-A, then B2 we must also opt for 10-A, and B3 must also opt for 10-A. If B3 opts for what? Regular scheme. If B3 opts for regular scheme, then for B1 and B2, the benefit of this presumptive scheme or composition scheme under section 10-A is not admissible. Now, what is the rate of tax? As we already discussed, they are liable to pay tax at rate of 3% CGST and 3% SGST. So the rate of tax under this scheme is levies as under service supplier and mixed supplier. Rate is 3% of the aggregate turnover in the state or union territory. What is the rate? 3% of the aggregate turnover in the state or union territory. CGST element, 3% of the aggregate turnover in the state or union territory is the SGST element. And the total rate cannot exceed 6% of the aggregate turnover in the state or union territory. Here, it cannot exceed 6% of the aggregate turnover in the state or union territory. And the following supplies, they are to be excluded for determining the turnover in the state or union territory for determining the payment of tax. Supplies to be excluded for determining the turnover in the state or union territory for determining the payment of tax. That is what? We have already discussed the same in this section 10.1 also. The same explanation too, which was applicable in section 10.1. The same is applicable here also. That from 1st April up to the date when you are liable for registration, that turnover will not be included. And what will not be included? Interest and discounts which we receive on supply of service of making loans or advances or deposits. So here, for the purpose of determining the tax payable by a person under this section, turnover in the state or union territory shall not include the value of the following supplies, namely supplies from the 1st April of the financial year, supplies from 1st April of the financial year up to the date when such person becomes liable for registration under the Act, up to the date when the person becomes liable for registration under the Act. An exempt supply of services provided by way of interest, deposits, loans or advances insofar as the consideration is represented by way of interest or discount. An exempt supply of services provided by way of extending loans, deposits or advances insofar as the consideration is what? Represented by way of interest or discount. So these are to be what? Excluded. Now here, rest all provisions, they are just replica which we have discussed under section 10.1 for the composition scheme for suppliers of goods or manufacturers or restaurant service suppliers. The same is here. So here 10.3 provides for what? The benefit of composition scheme can be availed up to the aggregate turnover of rupees 50 lakhs in the current financial year. The option availed by a registered person under 10.2A shall lapse with effect from the day as his aggregate turnover crosses the limits of rupees 50 lakhs. So as soon as aggregate turnover crosses the limit of rupees 50 lakhs, as soon as the aggregate turnover crosses the limit of rupees 50 lakhs, in such case, the registered person will be liable to pay tax, at normal rates. If the normal rate of GST is 18%, it will be liable to pay tax at normal rate and will be entitled to take input tax credit. It will be entitled to take the input tax credit. Then 10(4), as we have already discussed, they will be required to issue bill of supply, and the composition tax cannot be collected from the recipient of supplies. That is a taxable person to whom provisions of composition scheme applies shall not collect any tax from the recipient of supplies made by him. He won't be collecting any tax from the recipient of supplies made by him. It means that composition scheme supplier cannot issue a tax invoice. And a taxable person to whom the provisions of composition scheme applies shall not be entitled to avail input tax credit. As you are aware that a composition scheme supplier won't be entitled to take any input tax credit. Then what are the penal consequences if you have wrongly opted for this scheme under 10(2)(a) but you were not eligible? So if the proper officer has a reason to believe that a taxable person who has paid tax under composition scheme, despite being not eligible, he shall, in addition to tax that may be payable by him under other provisions, will be liable to pay penalty, and the provisions of 73 and 74 will apply for determination of tax and penalty. The issuance of show cause notice will be there under section 73 and 74. Issuance of show cause notice will be there under section 73 and 74, and in that case the person will be liable to pay tax as well as interest. As per in section 73 and 74 it has been provided interest is mandatory plus penalty also. So if you are not if the proper officer, he has a reason to believe that a taxable person has paid tax under composition scheme despite not being eligible, he was not eligible, still had paid tax under section 10(2)(a), then such person, in addition to tax that may be payable by him under any other provisions, that is under normal provisions, whatever is his tax liability, he will be liable to pay penalty, and provisions of 73 and 74 shall be applicable for determination of tax and penalty. Then in case any goods or services are received by composition supplier, if any goods or services are received by a composition supplier chargeable to tax under reverse charge basis, which are chargeable to tax under reverse charge basis, then benefit of composition rate will not be applicable benefit of composition rate will not be applicable in respect of such goods or services. Benefit of composition rate won't be applicable in respect of such goods and services, and here normal rate will be applicable. Normal rate will be applicable for the suppliers, for the composition supplier, while paying tax under RCM. While paying tax under RCM. while paying tax under reverse charge mechanism. In such case, normal rate of tax will be applicable. So it's important to note that for any tax payable under reverse charge mechanism, the option of payment under this scheme will not be available. The rate of tax payable on supplies taxable under RCM will be regular rates and not composition rate. And as we already discussed, composition supplier when supplies goods or services, when composition supplies supplying goods or services, a recipient of such goods or services will not be entitled to take input tax credit. The recipient of those goods or services will not be entitled to take the input tax credit of what? Of the composition tax. The recipient won't be entitled to take the credit of the composition tax. So this was all about what the composition scheme for the suppliers, service suppliers basically, though they can be mixed suppliers also. So you must remember that if a person is eligible for benefit of option under 10(1), that is for the manufacturers or traders or say restaurant service suppliers, they have the benefit there, then they will not be, then they haven't opted for there, they cannot opt under section 10(2)(a). Those who are eligible under 10(1) cannot go for 10(2)(a). Those who are not eligible under 10(1), they will be going for the benefit of 10(2)(a). Now earlier, basically this was earlier covered in notification number 2/2019 central tax rate, which is applicable from 1/4/2019. Now at that time a circular was issued for the explaining the benefit of the scheme. So here if a person applies for registration, in the registration application, while he is making the registration application in REZ01 form, he has to opt for payment of tax under this notification number 2/2019 CT rate. So any person who applies for registration and who opts for payment of central tax at rate of 3% by availing the benefit of the notification is eligible, may do so by indicating the option at serial number 5 and 63 of form GST RE01 at the time of filing the application for registration. As we already seen the statutory provisions also, the option for payment of tax by availing the benefit of the notification, which notification they are referring? Notification number 2/2019 central tax rate. In respect of when the option for payment of tax by availing the benefit of said notification in respect of any place of business in any state or union territory shall be deemed to be applicable in respect of all other place of business registered on the same permanent account number. It will be for all the other place of business registered under the same permanent account number. Then what is the effective date of applicability of presumptive scheme? The option to pay tax by availing the benefit of the said notification would be effective from the beginning of the financial year. In case if you have not opted in the earlier financial year and now you want to opt, so prior to the beginning of the financial year to opt, then it will be from the beginning of the financial year or from the date of registration. In case you have opted for a fresh registration, date of registration in case where new registration is obtained during the financial year. And now this is basically contained in composition 10(2)(a) is basically for the all section 10(2)(a) is there. Therefore, earlier it was under notification number 2/2019. Therefore, they have provided that it may be noted that provisions of chapter 2 of the said rules, yani CGST rules, that is the composition levy rules, they will be applicable for the persons who are paying the tax, paying the tax under this particular notification. So this was a circular earlier which was applicable, but now we have seen that in the section itself, 10(2)(a, it has been subsection 2(a) has been introduced in section 10, which is dealing with this scheme which was earlier contained in notification number 2/2019 central tax rate.